So the first in-world talk will be this Friday. This video is meant to be a brief walkthrough of what you should do to get into the talk and some of the etiquette around these talks. Obviously that's an evolving topic, but these are my current thoughts. So this name might seem a bit grandiose, but I'm very serious about this particular word, free. So in my opinion, maybe we've lost touch with this value a little bit, or at least deprioritized it, and the switch to virtual platforms may be a good opportunity to revisit it, and I'll explain what I mean. So, to listen to the talk, you want to make sure Discord is running, get into the Rising Sea channel, and put yourself in a voice channel, let's say general. To mute yourself, you click this button, and to leave voice, you click disconnect. So you want to do that once the talk is over or once you leave the server. It won't automatically leave the voice channel when you close Roblox because they're different applications. So during a talk, you should maybe mute yourself as you do in a Zoom talk. Okay, so I'm in the voice channel. Now let me get into Roblox. Yeah, if this happens, don't panic, just click retry, usually works. Alright, so the talk will be to your left. You can see there's 2 people there already. For this demo, I'll be an audience member. My wife's account will present. So you see as I entered the talk region, I switched to the talk channel. Now if I was unmuted, everybody in this list would be able to hear me. So that's fine before the talk starts, but maybe there should be cues from the speaker to maybe mute yourself once the talk gets underway. Okay, so let's suppose the talk is starting. So the speaker's clicking through the slides. Maybe you want to get the overlay view by clicking on the screen. That will stay in sync with the speaker. Blah, blah, blah. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that. This is my wife's account, so very wise things, very wise things. Oh, but actually, I didn't quite understand that graph. Eventually, I'll add GUI elements so you can move backwards and forwards through the slides on this screen. But for the sake of the present introduction, it's more interesting to imagine that I maybe want to discuss that graph with somebody next to me in the audience. Okay, so you'll notice over here there's actually individual screens for each slide. So without leaving the talk, that is the voice channel for the talk, I can just wander over here and have a closer look at that particular graph. Okay, so I'm studying that. Meanwhile, I'm still listening to the talk. But suppose that someone else is a bit confused about this. All right, so I notice one of the other accounts comes over to look as well. If we want to discuss it privately, we can actually switch into a dedicated channel for that slide. And now we can only hear each other. We're no longer hearing the talk. Notice that unless the speaker's paying very close attention to how close you're standing, they maybe can't tell whether you're doing this or not. That's a feature, not a bug. So to come back to the topic of freedom, so I think if we individually try to maximize our knowledge acquisition during a talk, whether that involves standing in front of the slides or pretending to listen attentively or not, we'll all collectively be better off. So there's a lot of pretense of paying attention in physical talks that maybe should be done away with. So personally, if you are no longer interested in my talk within the world, feel free to go off and find the boats and play around on the river or do whatever. Or come over here and talk amongst yourselves. I think that's a perfectly good norm to have. Okay, so we're speaking away, talking about what this graph means. Busted. Somebody's not happy. Alright, so off we go, back to the talk. But seriously, I mean, obviously, if this is good feedback for a speaker, I think, right? If there's a few people confused about a particular topic or didn't quite get it, the feedback of having them actually go over and look at it is probably very useful. At least I would find it very useful as a speaker. Okay, so I think the practice should be that once the talk is over, maybe you proceed to either explore the world or go and look at particular slides and discuss amongst yourselves in these per slide channels, or stay in the main channel and discuss with the speaker if you have questions. So that's my current thoughts on talks. I'll see you on Friday. On Thursday there will be a practice session where you can try out the different features and make sure the accounts are working and so on. That time will be announced in the email.